Don't know about you, but it feels quite apt that second dinner I've had a Nightmare the week that Nightmare releases. So I would like the priority of this video to be all about the fact that we've got a brand new card this week, Nightmare. If you're curious, we have covered the other cards that have released this season, the Ancient one, and we also did something on, I'm trying to remember who the card was. We got Merlin and Morgan Le Fay. Those were live streams though, so if you haven't been able to catch my live streams, I thought that Merlin was the best one out of the three. We're just going to summarise it very quickly. Morgan, I think, is very niche, but will have a home moving forward in certain decks. The Ancient one, I feel like, may need a little tweak in terms of power. I feel like 3 cost, she's just a little too late to actually make an impact. But we're not here to talk about those. Nightmare. Honestly, even at 3-1, it's the card that excites me the most this season. Maybe Dormammu could go ahead of that. I feel like Dormammu's probably going next week, if I'm right. Got a few complications that need working out. Whereas I feel like Nightmare is very straightforward. So, on reveal, replace the text of each card in your hand with text from a random card of the same cost. So, with that in mind, let's show you the deck and let's show you what we plan to do with him. So, we have got a Nightmare deck. Hopefully. Now, the reason we've gone for something a little not so straightforward Sauron is the fact that even though Nightmare will definitely work with Sauron cards, I wanted to try and be a little bit greedy. So we're going to go with some of the vanilla package, of course. Zero, Ebony Maw, they just make great pairs. Zero, I feel, also is needed just in case some of these cards need a little bit of extra love. But from there, I feel like we're in a good shape. Lizard is arguably one we could draw. I'm going to keep him in for now, but I feel like potentially Lizard could come out for something like Surge, just to potentially give us a bit of extra curve play or ability to play on curve. We've got, obviously, Nightmare. Let's just go through them all one by one. That's how I like to do it. So, Sauron, I think last time I made a Sauron deck, he was a 3 cost, now he's a 1 cost. And he has been a 2 cost since, so he's gone through a lot of changes in the past couple of months. On reveal, remove the abilities from all ongoing cards in your deck. Now, my opinion is this card was nerfed from the 2 cost version, which did your deck and hand, purely because they knew that Nightmare was coming to the game. So, I find that interesting. We'll see if it was actually necessary. 0-1-3. On reveal, remove the abilities of the next card you play. Nice and simple. Ebony Maw. You cannot play this after turn 3. Ongoing, you can't play cards here. So ideally we don't play it early. Ideally. Lizard, 2-6. Ongoing, -4 power if your opponent has 4 cards here. Alright. We've talked about Nightmare. -1 power is a bit of a downside for him. I get the feeling that if he launches a bit weak today, he could go up in power before lowering cost. Personally, I wouldn't mind it if he was a 2 -3 if his ability is impactful. If the ability is more RNG, maybe it's not so much about when he comes out, but actually not being bad if he's out. So we'll see how it plays out. Zerta, 3-5. After you play a card with 10 or more power, this gains +2 power. So we've got a lot of chunky boys in this deck, so Zerta should keep going up. Starbrand. Card in the top right corner, that way. Yep, for when we did the Starbrand video. Ongoing, your opponent has +3 power at each other location, so effectively it's a 3-4 unless you turn off the ongoing ability. Tuma, not necessarily a Sauron card, but one I wanted to try in this build. End of turn, destroy one of your cards here with less power. 4-10. He shouldn't necessarily destroy things readily, but we want to make sure it isn't so easy for him. Crossbones, you can only play this at locations where you are winning. So, ability can be quite bad, but we've got a lot of tempo in this deck, so we should be able to play the card where we're winning quite often. Typhoid Mary, ongoing. Your other cards here have -2 power. So it can be quite a bummer again. It's a 4-4 if you can't remove the ongoing, so a little bit rough. Oh, also if you fill the lane, that should be sad. Restecool, ongoing. Enemy cards here have +2 power. So again, a full lane, that's essentially 8 power to your opponent, so it makes Restecool a 5-6. Not great. And then finally, the Infinite. If you played a card last turn, you can't play this. Now, my hope with this deck, my hope is that we're able to play Nightmare often enough when we've got these big boys in hand. If not, we are going to have to rely on the Surtur line, which is essentially Surtur, Atuma / Crossbones, Restecool, and then maybe do a Starbrand and... Well, I'm looking at Lizard and probably not Ebony at that point, but you get my point. We're probably going to have to go into a bit of a line like that. It is where the deck's got weakness for sure. I'm not going to deny that. But there was a bit of me thinking I like the idea of Nightmare and Atuma because Atuma can get rid of Nightmare on the board. So it's a small thing, but I just think, all right, we've got a way of getting rid of that negative power once it's been played out. And also, if Nightmare's in hand, actually, I'm saying that, Atuma would have to be in deck and get pulled. So yeah, maybe not the best thought line with Atuma and Nightmare now I think about it. All right, I'm going to get into a game before I dig myself a hole here. But yeah, let's see how it gets on. Oh, and just for context for you, we are... I just show my screen properly. We're currently ranked 97, so hopefully we can reach Infinite during this recording. Hopefully. Alright, pour himself a drink. And 2 cards get... Well, we get a card from our opponent from White Palace, MODOK, so they're... I'm going to have a stab in the dark and say Bullseye. Okay, just 0 to begin with. If we get Sauron, we can then do Sauron to get rid of Ebony. Ooh. Okay, I like that. We got Nightmare. Saying that, I don't want Nightmare on Surtur, so that's a line I hadn't considered. I need to think on that. Let's play it there. Actually, no, let's play that there. Burning Bats. I don't mind playing certain med. It prevents any goblins and things like that. Acid arrows. Granted, there isn't a Kate on the board, but you get my feeling, the idea. Surtur should climb. Alright, Sif, Apoc. But it's not Bullseye, it's additional. Alright, I like that as a hand. In fact, we can double it, so... Actually could be kind of cool. We could get a very interesting MODOK here. And we will get something from Sauron. Ooh, okay. So, Ebony's become a martyr. MODOK's become an Annihilus. That's kind of interesting. Typhoid's become a Crossbones. Sauron a Scratch. Okay, that is really funny. Okay, well, I figure let's do that. You might get a bit confused seeing MODOK change ability.
You won't need this anymore.
Trouble is Surtur's sitting very still in that middle lane, and he's about to get really stretched.
Opponent snapped.
1, 2, 3. And power there. No. As much as I would like to see it out, one, it's a boomer snap, so that's just like a red flag to retreat, especially when they've got an APOT that's built up. But besides that, I didn't feel confident in those lines. Alright, next up, Alyana. Okay, so 0 could hit Starbrand. We'll wait for turn 2. Very confident playing Ant-Man into negative zone there. They are not a bot, or at least they are not based on collection level. I think we will play 0 Starbrand. Dazzler, maybe? Oh. Something I didn't put in the stat that probably needed was Enchantress. I was talking about Atuma, maybe even Crossbones. I think they justifiably could get dropped here. I think I will play Crossbones. And then we skip next turn and then it's Infinite. Feels a little bit awkward, but maybe it'll work. Right there, I'm gonna think. Interesting how we're both quite content with rocks.
Hello!
I'm wondering if I play it. Oh, saying that, I don't. Ooh. Alright, let's just assume for a second that it is Ultron there. Like vanilla Ultron. That's 8, it goes down to 5, so it's 8 powered there. That gains +3, so it's kind of negated actually. I don't know, +4, so it goes up 1, so it's about 9 power to the lane. That wouldn't win it. Although that could be Blue Marvel, which would then bump the lane up some more. I think a gamble though. Let's see.
Hello! So happy!
Yeah, it's not going to be enough there, surely. If there's one ongoing mid, we're done. Alright, that was good Ancient One play, to be fair. Oh yeah, not great so far here. I know I don't normally make changes to decks when I'm actually playing them, but it has highlighted the need for an Enchantress. So I am going to make a sub very quickly. Nightmare, and honestly I feel like Crossbones is the one to remove just for the fact that that ability is... It's alright, but I get the feeling we can get better. Alright, into the next one. So my early impression of Nightmare, it's only 2 games, but with it being any card in hand, the weakness that I'm seeing straight away, I feel that's a worthy snap, is that if we've got something with a decent ability in hand, like say Surtur or Enchantress as we've now got it, it could become a liability having it. So that does give me a bit of cause for concern. Let's play Tarnax. We lose the power, but we will at least get rid of the lizard. Kid Omega. Alright, that's the £100 card. Any of you guys out there got Kid Omega? I'll be up front, I haven't. I was about to activate it. What does it do? Destroy the next card you play this turn to gain its power. That could be kind of cool mid. Yeah, I kind of like that if we just destroy Typhoid. It's a way of keeping Ooh, saying that though, this is going to move on turn 4, isn't it? Or not? Okay, that's kind of solved a problem. Let's do that then. Supergiant is kind of intriguing. So Kid Omega could be a target now for a Shang. We know that. Nightmare's just out too late. We can't play it. My issue is Shang will really get wrecked here. Spider Island's almost impossible to play into. I say almost. You'd argue he is. I kind of want to put Nightmare in there just to get 3 cost in. Yeah, Tarnax is very tricky. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that and that. Or maybe that and that. We lose Spider Island. They can probably change it with a spell. A-Bomb. Polymorph gets rid of Merlin for Casanova. I like a bit of power decrease that. Ghost. Please be less than 5 power. Oh. Jammy. Oh! Oh! We win by 1.
Victory.
Okay, Serta saved us. Yeah, alright, that's cool, because I was that distracted by the fact that we lost that 1 by 1. I completely forgot about how the right was stacking up, so yeah, I will take that. Alright, the 4 cubes. Let's skip for a minute. And I'll be honest, I'm just remembered I did not pick up my free 200 credits for the day, so I am just going to multitask and grab them while these early turns are going. We don't want to zero Serta, so we don't play 0 now. Yep, let's just play Serta right. Here we go, 200 credits for free. Ancient One, fair play. I'd say we've got a lot of interesting things in hand. Misery, Spectrum, Restecool got Spider-Man 2099. Ooh, 620 alive, wow. And a Fenris Wolf and Lizard, wow. Okay. There's a lot going on there. Yeah, that's nothing. We don't want to play that version of Doom. Oh, hang on. So that... Oh, that's going to get zeroed. But oh, it doesn't matter. It's Spider-Man 2099. Doy. Alright, yeah, let's just do it there. That actually goes up a lot in power. And we have got priority. Oh, I so want to do that. I so want to do that. Yeah, they're feeling confident based on what's happening. You see, just suppose now Isaayaah. It'd be 36 power win, but they could probably just play 1 card there and win as well. So it's like, a 2 Tuma's a Tuma. He's not changing. You know what? I'm going to go for it. I shouldn't for 4 cubes, but I've got a feeling I can just squeeze it. Oh, I was wrong lane.
Do you understand me?
Ah. I could have won it. That is so frustrating. Oh. I should have realized that the Tau Mandala was the thing they were going to lean on. I mean, in my defense, it could have gone mid. They could have played 2 cards there, but there was Swan there already with Ancient One and Marvel, so I should have... Oh. You guys saw me, though. I was going to play right, and I stopped myself because I thought, no, they're going Shang, and... Oh, I should have seen C5. Ah! That one's an annoying one for me. All right, 4 down the drain. All right, Taco Dropper. Add a chimichanga to your hand. Okay.
Victory.
That was a very quick retreat. I mean, it is possible they were going for high voltage and they went for a normal game. It does happen. Also, I don't know about anyone else. High voltage I've found very frustrating. Well, high voltage overdrive to be precise. The game mode itself is... It's got a level where it's like, okay, this is different. But it goes away very quickly to a level of, oh, this is annoying. You know, the idea of random cards. It's like, if I wanted to play Arisham, I'd play Arisham. You know, so there's a bit of me thinking, surely Loki's going to come out on top there. How the hell does Loki not come out on top when it's pretty much a meta built for him? Anyway. 1, 2. Oh. I mean, fair enough. I had no way of knowing that. They've got priority. Yeah, I'm gonna hold a minute. Maybe not for another minute. I mean, they can't play a second goblin straight away. Actually, if they play a second goblin, it would benefit me. I mean, I played 1 card here. Let me get this right. They destroyed 20. So, yeah, they could win if they've got null. So maybe it's better just subbing in that. And in which case, you might as well do that. Oh. Yeah, that was a 50-50. I mean, I'll admit, I haven't seen that kind of Galactus deck. At least with Destroyer. At least for some time. Oh, I've just realised I've said it before. Alliance missions, I always seem to forget on the first day.
Epic.
Okay, so I did allude to it. I do feel like I need to get Surge in. I think for that, I am going to drop a 10. I'm going to bring in Surge. Just for that hopeful cost reduction. Where are you, Surge? I also don't know if... I still feel like I'm missing something. But let's give it a go like this. Let's see if Surge just gives us a little bit more tempo. She might not always get pulled in, which is an issue, but... yeah, I get the feeling she could do more than the Tuma was. A Tuma gives one proc, and after that, he's almost a liability. Let's do that. I don't mind the idea of Nightmaring and Sauron gets a potential good ability. He could also get a bad ability. And again, I will give Nightmare its due there. That is where it's an interesting card. I can't help but think, though, maybe Nightmare on cloning Vats isn't a bad thing. If you do get bad pulls, you can re-proc it. Okay, the Wrath. That's old. Let's have more targets in hand. Yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about with Surge. Just bring it out, get some tempo, bish bash bosh. Alright, so Restecool, Lizard. Alright, this feels potentially good. Downside, if they got Cosmo, I get wrecked. Oh, potentially. I say potentially, I wouldn't get wrecked, but it's like, yeah, I wouldn't be feeling happy about it. Sentry, okay. We've already had an Annihilus pull from this, so I'm not worried about this. Alive, Maria Hill, Yondu, Doom 2099. Hey, we got the Doom Skull. That is brilliant. Colossus for Lizard, and we got the Nightmare again. Okay. We got toys to play with. Let's do that. That's fine. Oh, I've just realized the Doom bots will have power, but they give other Doom bots and Doom, so Enchantress won't gain it. Okay, so we have lost a bit of power there. Goliath there, isn't it? Let's plot. Oh, this is rough. I cannot regain momentum easily in any of these lanes. I'm going to play there, and hopefully we're in good stead. Wealth by Night. Sentry again. And they played Annihilus that way, so...
Iron Man.
well, they're definitely going to play there.
Opponent snapped.
That possibly could be enough. Oh yeah, it's 17. The werewolf will move if they play there. Yeah, let's give that a go. I know risking it for a 2-8 is not ideal.
Power.
Oh, that is... that sucks. That sucks. Buddy Shang-Chi. I love my hands up, right? I did have Shang-Chi blindness there. I was that focused on the Annihilus. Yeah, go on, you deserve it. I was that focused on the Annihilus coming down then that I completely forgot about the fact that I got 14 power. High priority target that could be hit. Yeah. That was one I should have retreated knowing that this left lane was not going to get one. But still, that was some incredible discounting. I mean, that... yeah, that got hit with Surge. That got hit by Surge. That was... wow, that was the Wrath? Damn. I'm still trying to work out the cost reduction, though. I mean... right, that makes sense. So Surge had already reduced that to 4. I think what's got neglected there surely is the fact that that must have gone down to 3 before it went down to 2, surely. Because that was 2, 4, 0, and move. Well, when you think that is a lot of power that got swung in that lane just now. Forget the null, that's obviously the freebie from the Wrath, but that was 5 and a 4 played for 6. So yeah, a lot of discounts there. I could not have anticipated that. At least not easily. Alright, we're up against Agatha Harkness. Playing Agatha. From Agatha's Coven. Yeah, I'll credit for the bit. Yeah, you know, well done. Question is, are they playing Agatha? Or are they saying they're playing Agatha? Alright, I like this curve. Time Stone. Soul Stone. Ooh, I don't want to play Nightmare though. Oh. And this is where the problem feels with him. You get him and you don't really want to play him. It's not even the -1 as such, it's just the fact that when I feel like I need better targets. I don't mind it now. Can't do. They did change, didn't they? Yeah, that's now a Miles Morales. That's Dazzler. That's a bit of a bomber. Maybe we do that. I stayed. Strange Supreme, Mockingbird, Power Stone, destroy, thank you. Surge, please destroy. Nope, no such luck there. If that gets destroyed, it feels so bad. Oh. Actually, that would be fine, maybe. If it can pull a negative card for Strange, maybe. It's not going to be enough though, surely. That's a 0, but goes up by 2. It quite literally needed to be negative, and there was nothing negative there. Made that 3 who've gone in with a deck for high voltage. Literally, all of my cubes seem to be coming from that. Like, I've won 6 games. 3 of them have been 1 cube retreats turn 1. It is pathetic, that. I'm down 21 cubes as well. I'm not just losing, I'm losing bad on an infinite climb. I was ranked 97, I think I'm at rank 94 now. Right, someone's got the same idea as me after I had the same idea as someone else. We're gonna have a full hand. Oh, it's full already. That's just made it even more full. You know what? I will do that. We don't need to buff up Surta. And that's just a free card. They had the same idea. 6 energy. Oh, hang on. Sadly, we haven't got much else we can do, but we still get +2 next turn, so all those cards being affected. Enchantress is probably the one I'm bummed about, but the rest should be fine. A little bit awkward, though, that we could be getting our Giganto and have to play it left. Ooh, Broad. Yeah, that is not good. Plays on even turns, right. So we've got a Korg, we've got Waru, Infinity Ultron. That won't do anything because we haven't got Infinity Ultron as a card. Anti-Venom. Ares, that could be quite good. Alright, we'll do 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Agatha will play herself final turn.
I found a rock.
I'm just hoping we put enough down. Ooh, that was sneaky. Okay, so a tomb has become a rescue. Surely we just lose that. Surely. I'll stick in it because the Agatha thing is kind of cool, but... Actually, saying that was a text for rescue. Oh. Really? They didn't get the same one, did they? Oh, they got Tribunal. Alright, that was a good game.
Victory.
So they could have gained a +5 if they played that. That might have actually done them better. Yeah, Tribunal was interesting, I'll give it that. Definitely think they should have gone right. I know the split wouldn't have really mattered, but... I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm just... Tribunal really didn't affect it, so... I'm R-ing, but... Yeah, I think I was pretty secure there. Alright. We've got what I feel was our first really legitimate win with this deck. At least in a while. 18 games in. Alright, Lehlanya. Chunky and smooth. They've got, we get a Malekith. We will Sauron. I do think they heavily nerfed this pair of Sauron and Nightmare. I get why. The possibilities that you can create are quite powerful and quite frightening. But when you think that around the time of the Sauron nerf, they reintroduced the Storm War Machine Legion combo, can't help but look and think, maybe you should have just let it play out. You know, just see if it was good, bad, ugly, rather than going straight for the nerf hammer. Alright, Crossbones. That would have been a great time for Nightmare. And again, this is where the Sauron nerf hits. The fact that we can't really do much with Ebony Moor unless we pull Nightmare. Which does make me think, is it worth calling it from the deck? God, I can't believe I'm thinking that. Let's just play Starbrand. Alright, they got Nightmare. They could potentially get rid of it via either Polymorph or Once and Future. See, I don't like any of those three coming out with Malekith, so I might as well just play power-wise. They could play 2 there, a skill and something else, and I can't contest it. Storm. Okay. And Polymorph. Okay. What is Storm doing now? Oh, it's Nightmare. Wow. So that was different. I think I just go big. Just keep spreading the power out. We've got a 10, a 10, a 14. And final turn. Yeah, that's a problem, but we can cross that in a minute. And yeah, that was Nightmare, wasn't it? I don't want to retreat on that snap because I still feel like I've got a lot of power, and unless they've got some really weird, like Shang-Chi absorbing man kind of combo, which I can't see them having based on the cards on the board, I don't think they can stop all three lanes as things stand. The downside is they've got the Wrath card. That could be impactful. Deadpool, War Machine, so they could play him for North. Ooh, maybe not. Void. Onslaught. Wow, okay. Oh, okay.
Victory.
I mean, arguably I should have snapped back because I felt like I was confident with my play lines, but when I'm looking at my hand just now, I'm thinking, ooh, you know, because I don't play Surtur, I've got no cards to buff him with. Gigantic can only go left, so that was a bit rough. Can't play Ebony. Enchantress hasn't really got a target except for Onslaught or War Machine, which don't really impact things. So at that point, you're looking at Malekith that could have drawn a Surge or a Nightmare, and zero. So not a lot of good cards there, in all honesty. All right, up against Isaiyaah. I'm assuming that's how it's said. All right, so turn 2 Surge. If I got Nightmare after that, I wouldn't be complaining. Surtur, not what I was after in that situation. They got Sauron, they got Surge. Perfect curve. Alright, we did get a discounted Sauron. That makes up for it. Again, I'm not just playing more because... yeah, I just feel like that'd be pressuring myself, essentially. That's a bit of a bummer. I mean, I doubt they're going to free up Space Throne for me, so... well, okay, we'll play on tempo. We'll get Restecool down and see if we can benefit from these cards. Let's snap and see if we can put pressure on. I'm thinking, right, they've got something here. Add in the fact that Surge gets the discount, we could pull Nightmare for 2. Typhoid there. 0. So we can do here 0 Typhoid. They get Nightmare. They change right, fair play. Once in future gets rid of Nightmare. Okay, so they potentially look for a strong turn 6 because they have got 8, is it? Yeah, they got 8 energy, so that's quite a lot. We've only got 2 cards we can play. The question is, which location will the Shang? Pick a pick, any pick. I'm going to guess if we play right at 17 power, that will also go up by 2 to take it to 11 for that card, so 23 total. We might be okay. I doubt it, but we might be okay. Lizard. Polymorph gets rid of that. Joaquin does nothing. Okay. Enchantress doesn't really impact. Oh, it was Beta Ray Bill. Okay. More Chavez. Okay. So I will take that because it looks like they got a load of dodge rolls from Nightmare, whereas I got decent Sauron hits. So yeah, I will take it. Also, that's the second time in the game. I can't click on Enchantress, but it's the second time I've seen a Beta Ray Bill pop out. Yeah, I can't actually highlight it, but that's remarkable. Yeah, that was a Chavez. That was a Dazzler. I think they made a mistake actually trying to get rid of that. They should have just kept the, what was it? Merlin? No, it wasn't Merlin. It was Sauron. Yeah, I think they should have just kept the Sauron, and if they could maybe have played more there. Actually, that probably would have won that location. They still would have lost that, but it'd have got them closer. Okay, Onslaught Citadel is not something I want to see right now. Also a little bit irritating that Enchantress is in hand. We will search. What's next? Madripoor. Storm Mid is interesting. Marvel. I saw a Nova for Ebony Maw. That's not nice. Enchantress is now Captain Marvel. That is now Gilgamesh. Okay. Galacta. Some interesting cards there. I really don't like that being a Skillmonger hit, but we'll do that. Yeah, 1 power off before any buff, so we've got a good shot there. Yeah, let's play that there. Alright, I like the idea that they were trying something there. But yeah, Captain Marvel, 0.
Victory.
I'm not entirely sure what deck they were building there, to be fair. That was an odd one. If it was like a nightmarish build, I'm like, what were you actually trying to cook? Why would you have Mobius in there? Alright, Surge in the mid. Hey, it's up. Hey, I tell you what, we've improved. Oh, we're now 10 and 12. Alright, picking up a bit of momentum. I'm bloody surprised at that. Alright, Turta, mid. Let's just challenge this Medusa. I mean, gonna be a retreat on it. I've got Prio, so I stopped the Mystique. They could still try and play 5s. 5 power is a decent stat line, but they might have an idea of what I've got as well. And I think my cards will beat a bunch of 5s. I am assuming Owl is weighing it up. All right, he took the gamble.
Enchantress.
That was a very silly play, sir. And I'm the king of silly plays. I've just realised I think I missed a bit when I shaved. Get challenge that Giganto, sir. Okay, I see what they were thinking, right? If I can play a card each lane, I'll be able to compete. I'm going to politely say probably not. Yeah.
Victory.
I give them credit for trying in terms of, right, I'm not just going to retreat because you've caught me with a Cerebro in my... Well, wasn't in the hand at that point, but you get my point. All right, Ron 435. Ooh, wow. Okay, cards galore. Skip turn 1, we can Surge turn 2, Nightmare turn 3. I'm saying that and I'm thinking Surta turn 3. I think this is where this build I've got has gone wrong, that it's hard to know when to go for the Surta line and when to go for the Nightmare line. Well, that's about as good as what you need. All right, well, with that said, ooh, all right, my window changed. I do think that is an interesting flair, by the way, as far as, oh yeah, we'll have a bit of buffed cards, see if that can raise power a little bit. That didn't really make much sense, did it? I felt like I was making a really interesting point, and it's like, no. So that could hit Starbrand and Lizard, so it's still an okay hit. I'm not bothered about Mobius being on the board. I'm not trying to discount anything really. The Surge is... Surge, okay, I am trying to a little bit with Surge, but I feel like I've got the bit I needed. That also tells me they've got Shang-Chi. Can we do this and this turn? Just spread some power out? Werewolf, Acid Arrow. Okay. Kind of cool. Kind of cool, but it's kind of pointless. My gut is saying there's going to be a Shang-Chi med. Wouldn't that be cool if it turned into an armor? Alright, welcome, Shang. There's Shang. Hello.
Must be controlled.
Yeah, that one's a bit irritating. Kinda got away from me. And it's a little bit disappointing as well, because I do get the feeling... Let me just check it. It's been 10. Okay, so I'd have still lost there, but I think if I'd got a location changer, I could have pivoted a lot better there. But, nah, not eventually. Didn't happen. Alright, so I am calling it here. 24 games, I feel like I've got to cut my losses. I started at rank 97, I'm rank 95. Yeah, so... I didn't actually drop too badly in rank despite the 15 negative cubes. But yeah, I think the more I play this, the more, one, I'll get tilted, and more, I just think we've got to cut it here. Otherwise, we're going to have more games than we actually need for a video. So even though it's 11 and 3, it's also worth counting that I think 3 of those were first turn retreats. And yeah, we didn't get any bots, at least that's something. Let's have a look at the matchups though. Let's just see how that went. We faced 7 other Nightmare matches, and we actually did well sort of mirror matching. Actually pretty much everything other than Nightmare we lost to, so or we had at negative cube rates against anyway. I mean, we did alright against a C4 deck. I didn't really notice C4 at the time. We lost to the Galactus. I mean, fair play, that was reasonably well done. And let me just scroll down. The 8 cuber against Deadpixel, I think that was the Galactus player. Yeah, other than that, it was a couple of 4s. Yeah, we won a 4. We got 1 back, but definitely room for improvement. I'm curious what you guys think about Nightmare, because like I said, coming into this, and I'm just going to change screen so we're wrapping up properly. I do stand by what I said. I think Nightmare is going to be one of the important cards moving forward, but I think day one we've seen the problem straight away, which is it can give you the nuts, it can give you the cards you need, or it can give you stuff that you really don't want. And the prime example of that for me was turning, I think it was my Zero and Starbrand into Nova and Killmonger. It might have been my Moore and Starbrand. And because I had to play them in a certain order, I couldn't really prevent the Killmonger occurring. And I know that's one instance, but it's those kinds of interactions that could become very unfortunate. So, yeah, I am curious what people think, because I definitely think this card will be good going forward. But I can't help but think, is there a way to undo it? Which is very weird, because I'm almost looking and thinking, could we have like the original Loki back that changes your hand? That would be a cool way of saying, right, Nightmare, didn't like it, let's undo it. And yeah, they'd never do it. No, Loki on release was busted, but for that simple reason, it was good, because it just cleared your hand if you had a bad hand. And I feel like that's what happens when Nightmare goes wrong. You've got a bad hand, and it's almost like you, unless you're doing what I was doing and trying to play it out, you should retreat. So, yeah, just to reiterate as well, because obviously on the screen with the deck, you saw like the actual deck I finished with, but it's different to the one we started with. And hopefully within the video I detailed those changes well enough, but I feel like I had to pivot away from just a big boys deck to having something a bit more balanced. But I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't go either way, to be honest. If it doesn't go more on more away from, say, these big power cards like the Infinauts, Gigantos, etc. Maybe more down to the little cards that maybe you want to play around these cards with big numbers. So I'm intrigued. I'm curious what some of the better deck builders are going to come out with. But with that in mind, thank you very much for watching, folks. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Leave a comment if you think to yourself, if you've got anything you want to say about the mess that was my attempts here. I will try and include some of the losses as well as some of the wins. And yeah, like I say, I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, folks, my name is Josh, I'm from JJ's Productions, and until next time, bye for now, everyone.